Yeah, but all of, especially on Facebook, and for the conversation today, I could talk about 5,000 different things, but I am going to focus on talking to you about why I recommend using Facebook and Instagram stories right now, and then I'll touch base on a couple of other things that are happening with Facebook, and some other tools that I use to help me manage and navigate through, all the different ways that we have to post on our accounts. So is everyone here small business owners or manage multiple accounts? What can people just give me a little bit of an idea so I know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, feel free to unmute yourself and just, pipe in.
Yeah.
I'm Tina. I'm from Harmonic Healing, and yes, small business.
Okay. Hi, Tina.
Lori, I know you know me, Katie with Elite, and I'll take all the help you can give me on social media.
I'm Tony, real estate agent and financial coach, so small businesses.
Awesome. Okay.
Glavin with Glavin Hypnotherapy Plus, small business owner.
Okay.
Jeannie Strickland, Boom Impact Graphics, small business owner.
Awesome. Okay. All right.
And I have a Medicare business, small business.
Small business. Okay. All right. That just gives me a little bit of an idea. So I don't want to talk about other things that don't make a lot of sense for this particular talk. So just want to kind of move on and talk a little bit about social media tips and trends. Again, like I said, I am going to focus primarily on utilizing Facebook stories and Instagram stories and why I believe so strongly in that right now. And at any time, you guys, you can interrupt me. You can ask a question. I'm really, I prefer that. So we have a nice small group here today. So it's actually probably a really nice number of people that we can, you can throw questions at me at any time if you have a question. So the one thing that I wanted to make sure that people knew about, this was a survey that Hootsuite provided, and they asked a bunch of you can see at the bottom there about 9,000 Hootsuite members, and the question was, what social platforms do you consider the most effective for reaching your business goals? And Facebook is still at the top, as well as Instagram, and then LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, WhatsApp, Pinterest, TikTok. Sorry, Anna, but TikTok is down low. It doesn't mean that it's not going to probably get up underneath, I would say underneath YouTube pretty quickly. But anyway, it just makes me realize and reiterates to my clients, to myself as well, that Facebook and Instagram is still where we need to spend a lot of our time, as well as LinkedIn, and having those strategies across those networks is really important. The next question was, do you plan on increasing your investment in the following channels in 2021? And it looks like more people are looking at Instagram. Instagram has recently made it pretty easy to do shopping cart, to do the shopping pins or the shopping posts and have your shopping integrated in pretty easily. And still Facebook is right there at the top, as well as YouTube and LinkedIn, and then you can just see the rest down the way. So for a lot of my clients, I have a national client, and I'm on all of these networks except for businesses. I don't do Snapchat, and then I don't use WhatsApp, but all the rest I am, but that's because they're a very large company, but I wouldn't suggest doing that for small businesses because you become very fragmented in your strategy. So I really do suggest making, your focus on a couple of networks and really do those well.
Laura, I got a quick Instagram question for you. So with the shopping cart, is it possible, let's just say I wanted to provide like some one sheets on with different tips for people. Would that be something people could utilize just to download stuff for free? Or does it have to be used only for things that people purchase?
It's a purchase. So, but I could show you how to do some things using an app called Linktree. And, in Instagram, you only have one bio link in your profile, unless you have 10,000 followers, then you get you get the ability to have a swipe up in your story. Does everyone know what I'm talking about with that? No. Okay, so and after that, I can jump onto my platform and kind of and show you what I'm talking about. But Linktree is an app that allows you to create multiple links. So then, like if you were creating a post on LinkedIn and you said, or on Instagram, and you said, view, you gave some tips, Angie, and you said, go to my link in my bio and you can download these free free tips. So in your bio link, it would be a URL that somebody would click on, and then they would go to this Linktree app, and you could set it up where it would be like a website that you could put those links there, and then they could download it off of your website. And that tool is called Linktree, and you can do a search on it. It's only, I believe, under $20 a year to do that. Highly recommend it. Once I get off of the presentation screen, I'll bring up one of my clients that we use it for, and I can show you visually how impactful it really is. So the other thing that I wanted just to kind of show, my screen is, hold on. Hold on here. Sorry. Can you guys see it if I do it like this? Because is this all right? Is it big enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. Yep.
The Brady Bunch grid got in the way of my presentation. So anyway, here's another bit of information just to kind of reinforce that Facebook is not going away, Instagram is not going away. And those are the things that I like to make sure people know, because all of the talk that is happening right now with, the changes and how volatile the platform was in the fall, and, with the election and just everybody, feeling like maybe people are abandoning the platform. It is still someplace that you need to be, and you need to be, have a marketing strategy on Facebook and Instagram. So let's go ahead and just talk about Facebook updates and tips and trends. Everybody always asks me, what should I do on Facebook? What should I spend my time creating? And the biggest thing that I want to get across in this presentation today is utilizing stories for your business. And there are ways that we can do that by putting the story on your Instagram account and making sure that it goes onto your Facebook account by linking those two networks together. There's just some settings that you have to do on your business page on Facebook to make sure that you've linked your Instagram account. Once you've done that, you can, when you put a story on Instagram, it will automatically push over to your business page. And the reason why I love utilizing stories, you can show on your post, it has to be a little, it has to be professional, but your stories can really be behind the scenes. If you're a real estate agent, you can take selfies of yourself on a call with a client. It doesn't have to be as polished and professional, because people want to still do business with people and they want to see your personality. So those are the things that I think people worry about. What do I post? What do I post? Because a lot of times I am telling my clients, I will put in stories a few times a week, something that looks more marketing focused, looks more polished. And I will ask them to help me making sure that their stories are populated by everyday things. So I do have a real estate team that they sell new homes, and they're out shopping. They're looking at household items, or they have a tip on cleaning. Those are the fun things that we can put in the stories, because with Facebook, when you post on your business page, and this percentage may be a lot worse than it was in the past, but it used to be around 6% of the people that were connected with your page that they would see your posts. The great thing about stories is when you publish and put that in stories, if you have 500 people that are connected to your page, if they tile through the stories, it's going to show them your story. So think of it like a billboard. You are utilizing a real estate space that doesn't cost you any money to market your business and to stay on top of mind with people that have liked your page, or your friends, your business contacts, whatever. So that will be that's just a very important space. Facebook hasn't throttled that down yet. And I say yet, because we all know that can happen and will happen. But that's just a place that I feel very strongly making sure. You can also look in your insights on Facebook and Instagram, and you can look and see how many people swiped through. You can see how many people tapped back, all sorts of analytics that help you to see what type of stories people are engaging with. Do they like polls? Do they like to see the behind the scenes of you personally? If you're the face of your business, do they like to see that? So you can start analyzing that data and see what your particular strategy can be. And then still, with moving on a little bit here, just to kind of overview trends, video is still key and still really an important thing to incorporate into your business. Utilizing Messenger, and I use that a lot with paid ads. So I'll do an ad campaign that has a Messenger goal, and that will engage with the client, the potential client, to open up a dialogue, a conversation. Boosting posts should be a part of your paid strategy. It shouldn't be your only strategy. It's a quick on-the-go way to market your business. So if you have a post that seems like it's doing well, and Facebook always says, they'll give you that notification. This post is doing better than 90% of your other ones. You should post it. You should boost it. I do occasionally engage in that because it does help me get to more people to see that post, and eventually, you might have some people that like it that you can invite to like your page. The other thing on Instagram, doing a profile on when you go into Instagram, you can also choose certain posts that you have put on your Instagram account, and you can boost those as well and advertise those. And those are really great to get more people to see your profile, in essence, to read more about you and to look at your bio link. So that's a really great way to increase exposure on Instagram. And then just to schedule your posts, it's not really a trend, it's just a tip, truthfully. Take a day, and usually like a Friday or a Monday is what I recommend doing, and scheduling out some content, making sure that you have some of that content 3 days a week, and then the other 2 days you can put in some more fun type posts. The next thing is, how do I increase organic reach? Remember I talking about a few minutes ago that 6% or less see your posts on Facebook. So people ask, what do I post? What do I post? And truthfully, the answer is different for every business. You need to make sure that it's engaging in relative content. You could do contests. Those are still doing pretty well. And you can ask questions. So if you are in the real estate industry, and you could, put a post out that says, what type of house, what's most important for you when you're looking for a home? Do you want an open kitchen? Do you want solid surface countertops? Do you want 3 bedrooms? Just to try to find out what your audience, what your fan base is wanting, is willing to communicate with you. So it's testing. So are any of you using stories right now regularly? No.
So I'm using them on occasion, but I have not really been using them specifically for my business. But I have been using them.
Okay. So
I do. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear me.
Okay.
Yeah, I do a lot. I use a lot of stories for Instagram, but recently started doing a lot more in Facebook. And
Yes.
just I did a ton in Facebook, and I have 6 new consults. So I don't know if there's a correlation, but I'm like, I don't know why I'm not transferring this over to Facebook. So kind of doing both.
Yes. So do you have it set up now that you can, when you post a story, that it's pushing over to Facebook, your business page as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you have that content going from one to the other, some people get a little worked up over that it might not transfer over to Facebook, with the same terminology. Like if you were posting about, a sequence of products if you're a boutique and you posted your three sweaters, or 3 different versions of a sweater, and on Instagram you use the terminology view the link in bio, right? And that doesn't transfer over onto Facebook as well, but what it does is it allows that person to click on your icon on your business, on your profile, and go to your Facebook page. So it does work. And again, it's top of mind. It is an area that is not being throttled, and most people should really try to play around with that space and see what type of success that they can have. It is definitely, does anybody use Hootsuite on occasion to do your postings?
I've used it in the past, but I haven't, not currently.
So if you really need to do something where you are posting, where you're scheduling, Hootsuite, it has allowed now that you can post to your stories, which does make it less in the moment and less, because I understand, from a business owner perspective, a lot of times this is overwhelming. Stories last 24 hours. So that's something that just every day, if you can just remember to put something in your stories, whether it's, if you do have a boutique, it's a new sweater that came in, and you just put a text overlay on it that says, new items. Or if you write a blog, put the image of the blog, and there's all sorts of real fun text overlays that you can use on the platforms that allow you to, say, it calls out new blog post or new listing if you're a sale, if you have a new house that's for sale that you just got a listing on. So, you could start off the face or the Instagram story. I have a typo. I didn't put an A there. Anyway, you could put your new listing, Angie, and then you could have a sequence of 5 more pictures after that shows the listing more specifically, the house, the kitchen, whatever you think is going to sell that home. So you could have obviously more than one story active at a time. They just fall off after 24 hours. And the other thing to do is to go into your insights on both platforms and look and see what is, like I said earlier, what's engaging with that client or with your audience. So just some tips to save some time. You can cross post from Instagram stories to Facebook stories to save yourself some time. Again, though, you do have to make sure that your accounts are linked properly. You have to go into your Facebook settings, go to Instagram, and just make sure that those are connected. Also, your Instagram account needs to be a business Instagram. And that's really easy to do on your platform, on your mobile device. That's where you'll have to do that. You would go into your account and go into settings and see if your account is a personal or a business profile. Once it's a business profile, then you can connect those that business page to it. And the other thing is, if you are doing some ads, just you do some paid ads in Ads Manager. I don't know how many of you are doing a lot of that type of work, but you can create ads in Ads Manager and use stories as the only placement, which is really a neat feature to do. But that's pretty advanced. If you're not doing ads on a regular basis, I would not jump into that deep end. So some additional tips on social marketing: just use your insights to determine your best performing content. Most people ask me, when is the best time to post? When on all platforms? When is, what should I post? What should I do? When I take on a new client, I look at the insights of their accounts on Instagram and Facebook, and I look and see when their fans are on most. And a lot of times it really does kind of cross up the platform around 11 o'clock. Seems to be that's when the most people are on active. And that's where I start with my posting, is around the 11 o'clock timeframe. But I do, I mix it up a lot. So sometimes, a lot early morning on LinkedIn is your best, about 8 o'clock is a really good time frame. But that 11 o'clock is not bad on across the board. If you're posting on multiple networks at a time, that 11 o'clock is great. 3 o'clock is good. And then also in the evening, right around that 6 to 7. But, you just have to kind of, after a couple of weeks, do stick to a plan and then look and see, how many times did that post and what kind of content is resonating well. So a lot of times, you'll put out a video. I had a client that I put out a video yesterday and I thought for sure it was going to go really gangbusters. And I think it's reached like 50 people. It's really frustrating. But that's organic, meaning that, and I put the same video on Instagram as I put on Facebook, and it's doing much better on Instagram. So you just don't know sometimes where your audiences are going to be. So that's just a suggestion for you. Some suggested tools. How many of you are using Facebook Creator Studio? Okay. Are you using it on mobile or desktop?
Hey, Lori, is that, if you're using it on your mobile device, is that a separate app?
It is.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, it is. So Facebook Creator Studio and Facebook Business Suite, there's a lot of confusion with those two platforms right now with Facebook. Are you guys aware of both of those? Okay, so they have different tools within each one and they're free. So I highly recommend that you log in to Facebook on desktop and just type in Creator Studio. And as soon as we're done with this presentation, I'll pull up my screen so I can show you guys some things. Creator Studio allows us on desktop to push our posts from Facebook to Instagram. So if you're not, and you don't feel comfortable using the app, using Instagram on your phone, you do have a way utilizing this tool to push that content after it goes. Like, let's say you put something on Facebook on your business page and you forgot that it didn't go on Instagram. You could go into your Facebook Creator Studio and you could push that content over to your Instagram account. So it's a great tool. It is an app on your phone as well. And then you have Facebook Business Suite, which used to be Pages, the Pages app. And now it's called Business Suite. So there's also an app for that too to download. And both of these, if you look at your insights, they give you great insights on your account, real nice graphs and quick data that it's really neat to look at. But they both have their, I use Creator Studio to do, to do stories on Facebook sometimes because I can add a link to it. I can add a URL or I can add a call button. So that's a really fun way to do Facebook stories on your business page. That is a very hard, the reason why I tell people to do Instagram stories and push to Facebook stories for your business is because they have made it a little difficult to find the stories option on Facebook. So on your business page. So utilizing Facebook Creator Studio has really helped in that area. Facebook will announce a new item or a new feature, and then something happens to something that like things disappear from their tools. And I think it's just an oversight when they're updating these tools that something falls off and they don't realize it. Or maybe they do, and that's just the whole game that we have to play is figure out where is that now. Another tool that I use is Hootsuite. As I mentioned, that really helps me to post my content to multiple platforms. And then I also use Sprout Social, which is very similar to Hootsuite. And that allows you to bring in all of your networks just like Hootsuite. But the one thing I do like about Sprout Social is I can go back and look at my content from 3 months ago and I can reuse that content. So a lot of times, we are trying to figure out what we're going to post, this week or what my focus is going to be. And that's just one thing, reusing your old content is something that you need, that you should implement. Change up the image, do a different, call to action on your text. But don't, just because you had a post 3 months ago about something and you really loved it, but maybe it didn't do very well, or maybe you just want to use it again. Absolutely, because remember, only 6% or less saw it. So, it's a good strategy to reuse your old content. I usually just reword my call to action, my verbiage that I put in the ad, or I'll just change the graphic a little bit. And I also use Canva and Canva Stories. So Canva Stories is its own app. So I know probably a lot of you know what Canva is, and it also is it's desktop and it has a mobile app. But then Canva Stories is a separate app too, and it can link directly to your Instagram. And so let's say you've created some stories on desktop, or I don't really like to create on the app because it's hard. My fingers are too big and it's hard to really be concise with when you're creating. So I do it a lot on my desktop. And then when I open up Canva Stories, I find my content's right there. Only my stories are active. And then I select the one that I want to use, and I can push it directly to my Instagram account. So it's a really neat tool if you're using Canva and you're creating your stories in Canva. So I highly recommend looking at that. And if you're trying to do some videos, do some editing, I just downloaded this new tool called Movavi Clips. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's an amazing, easy, user-friendly video that you can use, create your videos and then upload to your Facebook and to your Instagram. Highly recommend you taking a look at it if you're looking for a video tool. And then InShot is another one, but it also allows you to do, video and some layouts with photos like collages and things like that. So it's a great tool. These are my go-to tools that I use all of the time, and just thought I would share those with you guys. The next thing is managing Facebook and Instagram together with Facebook Business Suite. I was talking about that a little bit ago, what Business Suite allows you to do. So what they've done with Facebook, they've tried to help you manage both of your networks with this tool. So it does allow you to save time by cross-posting, and that's what I was talking about a minute ago, where you can post on Facebook and then cross-post it to your Instagram account. You can connect with your customers more easily, and then you can view your insights of both platforms in one place. So it's a great tool. And how you get to that is here's the URL, facebook.com/business, Facebook Business Suite. You can read more about that.
Hey, Lori.
Yeah.
I use that business suite quite frequently, and when posting pictures, Facebook has a different size than Instagram. So is there something I should be doing differently? Because on Instagram, it kind of zooms it in and makes it doesn't capture the whole image.
Absolutely. So that is a downside if you're going to cross post to both platforms. What I end up doing is doing the 800 by 800 and just not worrying about how it's going to resize on Facebook. Because I prefer the Instagram to look better than and Facebook isn't going to, the 800 by 800 is pretty standard for both sides of, for both Facebook and Instagram. So that's what I do. I don't see that it makes a difference as far as, does Facebook not like that size, and they want the I don't know, what is it, 940 by 640 or something like that. They want that size. But that's what I do. And utilizing that tool does let you put your hashtags in. You can create your verbiage differently for Facebook and for Instagram. Have you seen that, Katie, where you can? No. So I can show you.
I'll pay more attention the next time that maybe I'm just missing a step.
Yeah. And it could be also not Facebook Business Suite, but it could also be Creator Studio that I'm referring to at that point. But, let's look here in a second. And then Creator Studio, this is the one thing that I use to do stories a lot, because it allows me to add a call to action, a call link, a website link, an event link. So if you have an event that you're doing and you want to have a story on Facebook to link to that, this is how I do it. It's a nice, it's an easy tool. And the other thing I love about this is that it allows me to look at my inbox, my messages on desktop in one place. So it's a really neat tool. And I can just pull that up here in a second and show you guys, because I think that'll be more beneficial than me talking about it. One more thing, I hesitate, I cannot leave talking with business owners and not talk about Google My Business and how important it is to download that onto your phone and to make sure that you are, it's very similar to Facebook. It's a social network, right? So, and Google likes when you use their tools. So use the mobile app, post an update or create an event and upload photos like once a month, upload some photos to your Google My Business. It really just helps to make sure that your business is being found all over, what your digital footprint is. And I would highly recommend that you go in and do a Google search on your company name and see what networks pop up. And then you'll see why why I tell businesses Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, joining a chamber is so important, because your chamber organizer shows up on your SEO on your name. It's an amazing thing, your Google My Business. So you're trying to make sure that you're found in all. That's really what your goal is when you're posting and you're creating content on social media. You are really, in a big picture, you're trying to make sure that your company is found on in a lot of different ways and easy.
Yep.
That's it.
So, Lori, Tina asked if the stories can be archived or rerun.
So a lot of times the answer, you can't really rerun them in the platform, but you can save them to your phone or save them to your computer, or download them while they're going, if you forgot to do that. So two ways: if you created something that didn't have a lot of that you didn't put a lot of text overlay on in the app and you had that saved, you can just reuse that as you would normally. But let's say you created a lot of overlays, a lot of different things, you can always download that to your phone and then save it and reuse it later. Is that what you're asking?
Tina?
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, I'm still just so, I feel like you could take this, break it into about 6 sessions, one on each one of these apps.
I know.
And
that's why
I wrap my head around it. I mean, I've never heard of many of these, so yeah.
And that's why it's very hard to do this, to be honest with you. It's definitely, social media is such a
beast.
It's huge. I mean, I could spend 2 hours talking to you about Google My Business and why you should use that and strategies for that. LinkedIn as well, Facebook, Instagram, we can just go down the road. Today, what I wanted to just focus on was, how do you get the most exposure for your business and at no cost to you, just your time. So figuring out how to use stories and using those on both platforms is, I think, critical for businesses to do. I think it's the first thing when I take on a client that we talk about and that we really focus on. So they don't love me at all. They hate doing it, but I know that people see it, and I know that it helps with the overall branding. So I realize I threw a lot of information in there, and I apologize for that. But we could, we could do workshops.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think, Lori, we'll talk about that, what that would look like. And just something for, and for people to be thinking about, because obviously Lori's giving her time. So if she were to come back and do a more in-depth workshop, is, you guys would you be willing to pay a little bit for that?
Absolutely. I have another question. I mean, this is how kind of I'm behind. BioLink. What the hell's a BioLink? I don't even know.
What's a what?
A BioLink. When you say BioLink, what do you mean?
Yep. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna do we have a few minutes?
Yeah. Here's the thing, however much time you're willing to be on, it's up to you, Lori. And then if people need to jump off, you can jump off. But if you want to stay,
okay.
If Lori's going to show some stuff, then by all means, that's up to you.
Okay. So you guys, I have some local clients, and I'm trying to log out of those and just show you my national client that I have, because I feel like that's probably the better thing I should do, right? So I wish that I had like a demo file, but I don't really here. So this is Creator Studio, what I was talking about before. So you just go to facebook.com and you go to So this is different. Katie, are you using this?
No, I actually hadn't heard of that.
Okay, so this is a pretty cool thing that I was telling you about before. So if I wanted to create a post, I can create a post in this platform, and oh look. So I can, I can go in here, I can create my post, I can schedule, I can do everything that I can do on if I went directly to my page. But what I like about this tool is that it has this add story feature that they just moved on me. Did you see? Because I was looking for it over here, and they literally just moved that. I love them. So anyway, when you go to, this is a story that we can, and I'm just going to pull in.
Is it just as easy to do this from your mobile device?
No. So this is desktop. So if you're on, so I'm really focus on desktop right now, only because there's reasons why I like this. So if you have an event, or you have, you want somebody to go and buy a product, or you want them to go to your website, this is the only way you can do this button on Facebook, is with this tool on desktop. Okay. And then you can put in here, the company, the website. So let's say you had a blog that you wanted people to go to, this is what that link is. But anyway, we're just gonna put in here that this is where we want. So once this goes through the feed on Facebook, it's going to have a link to the website. So we can just go ahead and share the story, and then let's see if I can.
So you could even do like a video link
Yep.
to that too. Like
Mhm.
if you want to link it to like YouTube, or would that work?
Right. So can you guys see my Facebook? Only, I don't know what screen is, only one screen.
Yes.
Highlighted. Can you see where I have? Do you see multiple screens, or
Just your Facebook Creator Studio.
Yeah. Okay. So I need to, hold on. All right. I'm just going to show my desktop. Can you see my desktop now? Oh my gosh. Really? Okay. So now you can
join us, Ed.
So there's the story that I just mentioned that we just did, right? It's up here. And it's got the link. So when people see this, then they go and they're on their desktop, they're on their mobile, then they can click right to, it's going to go straight to the website. So it's a great tool.
And now.
Oh, hello. That was fun. Okay, I'll go back to, I'm trying to figure out how it will let me just share every tab that I'm on, but it's not wanting to do that. So is it showing Creator Studio?
Yes. Yep. I see Creator Studio.
Okay.
Yep.
And then so
we can see your desktop now.
Perfect. Thank you. It finally did the whole thing. Yay. Okay. So then here's the Instagram tab up top. And if you don't have the Instagram, if you don't have your Instagram brought in, you can bring it in here into settings. Where is the settings? Into Instagram accounts. And then you can add more accounts in here by up here. So this is where you would bring in your Instagram. So then you could share. So you have, if I'm looking at a post that I've done on an account and they don't have Instagram, but I'm going to go ahead and say it would give me an option to cross post this to Instagram. So if I forgot to put it over there, this is just an easy way to do that. The other thing I love about this tool is I can go into my inbox and I can see all of my messages that have happened for a client in here. And it's just a real easy way for you to manage your messages in your inbox, because it brings in, once you've brought in your Instagram, you can bring in all of you can look at all of your messages in this location. So if you only open this up just to manage your inbox, I highly recommend it. It's a huge tool to let you, I try to find things that help me do things faster and easier and better. So this is a great tool to look at and use. So the other thing that we were talking about was the bio link, right? On Instagram. So I'm on Instagram right now. You can see that. And the bio link is right here. Is everybody seeing my screen on Instagram? Just nod. Okay, awesome. So this is, I don't do a lot of work on Instagram desktop, but I just look at it to see how things are performing. And I can't really look at, I can comment on desktop, but you can't post. You can upload IGTV to here. But anyway, this is the link tree I was talking about. So it allows you to create all these links. And so when you are promoting like soft climbers on a post in here, you can say, view more in bio link, because they don't have 10,000 followers. So it's hard to link directly to a product. So that's why this link tree has come about. It's a great tool. It allows you to turn these on and off in the background. You go to linktree.com and set this account up. It's about $20 for the year. But it allows you then, if you click on that, it takes you to, wherever you're wanting to send the people to purchase or learn more about that item. Okay.
Lori, can you show what the link tree looks like? Because I just Googled it while we were on here, and it came up at, I found link tree, but it was $60 for the year. But I signed up for professional. So I just want to make sure I got the right thing.
Yep. So does everybody see this screen? This is what, and there's a lot of other ones like this, but I do love this a lot. It gives you analytics. For instance, it just allows you to be able to, like what you're wanting to do, give more ability for people to connect with you. Because the only thing that you could do, you can only change this out once. So a lot of times people will just have their website link in here. But let's say you have a blog, like this is a blog that came out. And a lot of times I'll just say, bio link is in bio. So when they click on this, typically what I would do is I will move this up to the top. So when they first link on it, they'll see that it's at the top, so they don't have to search for it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's a tool. I don't think it was more than $20 that we paid for that.
Yeah, I just signed up. You can get started for free.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could do $6 a month or $6.99 a month. And then it was to do professional was $60 a year. So it's not very, that's what it,
right.
There might be a different version, but I just went ahead and clicked professional.
Yeah, I think I just did the basic one, even for them. So.
Oh,
it's just a cheap, it's like a $20 one is what I did.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's true. And then, Hootsuite, how many of you use Hootsuite? Because I can show you the way to do stories, which helps really save some time. So they've added now this Instagram story button right here. So you used to not, was not able to do this. And that's the thing that's made everything so much better with stories now, is that you can utilize these tools. You don't have to do everything from your phone, but now you can create these stories and then you schedule them and then you get a notification on your phone and then it posts them for you. So it's a great tool. I do pay for Hootsuite because I do have more accounts connected than most people do. But it's a great tool. And that Instagram tool just came out just recently, and that's been a really nice lifesaver. But I mean, the biggest thing I would do if I'm a small business owner is I would get familiar with Creator Studio. And then I would also get familiar with Business Suite too. And that would be Business Manager, and then Business Suite is part of Business Manager. Also, make sure you have 2 trusted admins on your business pages. How many of you do? Yeah, make sure immediately that you get 2 trusted admins on your page. If you also have a Business Manager account, which most people probably don't, but just make sure that, and if you do, great. Katie, I don't know if you do or not, but you need to also make sure you have an admin and Business Manager as well. So in the fall, a lot of people were getting hacked getting locked out of their accounts. And that's something that has always been best practice, but I think people just forget to do that. So having 2 admins on your business page is really important. You can't do that on Instagram, but just making sure other people know, have access to that, people that you trust have access to that. So.
Hey, Catherine is an admin on mine still.
Awesome. So is there anything else that you want me to review or talk about, or any questions?
Feel free to pipe in, people. Let me look at the chat here.
Heather had a question in chat.
Yeah, was it still Creator Studio to manage Facebook business page inbox?
Yes, you can still, yes, you can get to that too.
Yep.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, feel free to unmute yourselves, guys, if you have a question. It's totally fine.
The other thing with Creator Studio that I love, if you do videos, it's really easy to upload videos to this. And then a lot of times I find it to be really hard to do a video on Instagram. Sometimes it just doesn't work out well. And then I'm like, oh, I got to push that over to Facebook too. So, I think of Facebook and Instagram as my go-to #1 platforms for a small business. And so a lot of times I am struggling with getting the content on both. So this tool allows me to upload the video into Creator Studio and make sure and have it go on both platforms really pretty easy. So it's definitely something that I highly recommend you take a look at it. Another thing too is to go to facebook.com. Hold on. Business, right? And yeah, Facebook for Business. I meant to put this in my slide. I'm sorry, but this is a great tool for you guys to poke around, look at, kind of understand, a little bit more about what Facebook is doing and their products, and then there's education and resources. So you can look at, online learning courses. You can learn more about Creator Studio here too. This is a great tool.
Awesome. So Lori, I have to tell you.
Yes.
However long ago, I found that you were doing an event and giving some, I don't know if you'd call it a class or whatever, at Shanna's old studio, Inspire 70. That was my first experience with Little Black Book.
Oh my
I had
God.
no idea what Little Black Book was. And I was like, I need to learn about all the different social media platforms. And you are amazing. So I really appreciate you and everything that you share.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome. Thank you.
For what it's worth, I think you're amazing.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And these type of, it's always hard it's really hard to zone in on one thing to talk about here. And there's so many tools, and I know it's overwhelming. I really do. And the one thing that I do still have, I'm in touch with is, I just took on a new small client, small business owner last week. And, I realize that, you have to start with, take a look at, Google your business name. Truthfully, do it today. If you haven't done it, do it. And look and see what network, where you're popping up and what you're doing. Because the first thing you want to make sure is your Google My Business is really optimized with the correct information and what you want to be known for. And then you kind of spiral, then you kind of take it from there and you say, okay, Facebook and Instagram, I want to make sure that I'm and those networks, they do pop up for people. So, I'll just search my name. And let's see.
Lori, while you're typing that in, if you ever offer like a monthly class where you're going to go over different silos of information, will you let me know?
I will. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So if I type in my name, all of these, my website pops up, which I barely do anything on my website, but it's just because using the word Lori North Marketing, and I have, and let's see, my Instagram pops up, my Twitter.
Obituary.
I died apparently. So that's great. Oh, and then see, here's my Google My Business, one of my clients' pictures in there. Oh, that's great. Oh, he'll love that, won't he?
Is that Dr. Wright?
It is. Oh boy, that's goofy. But then you can kind of see that your image, your digital footprint is the same everywhere you go. And I think a lot of times people really want social marketing to drive sales. And I understand that, I do. But what the thing that you're really looking at too is the consistency of your marketing across all of these platforms. So is your logo where you want it to be? Make sure that it's in all of your profile. I mean, the logo. If you don't have a good headshot, make sure you're getting a good headshot, professional headshot. Make sure if Canva is not a graphic designer. And so if you're really trying to create a look for your business, you need to hire a graphic designer that is a professional. And we do have an amazing one in Little Black Book. And I'm sure there's a lot of other ones, but I work very closely with Jeannie. And she's amazing, and I highly recommend that. So I utilize her as well as Canva, and she doesn't always. I don't know even if she's on right now, but anyway, it's definitely something that you want to look at. So you want to make sure your Facebook cover is a professional cover image. So I would highly recommend right away just getting kind of looking at yourself online, because what people do when they meet you at an event, or they meet you or they see your ad on Facebook, or they see something of your business, what's the first thing they do? They go to Google and they search you. And first of all, if you can't be found, that's a problem. So that's what social media does. That's what Facebook does for you. That's what LinkedIn does for you. That's what Twitter, that's what all those networks do, is it makes you look, that's your business. It makes you legitimate. So a lot of times, we have to get outside of our mind thinking that Facebook and all the social networks are going to drive us so much business. We're not going to know how to react, how to act. What we're trying to do also is be consistent with our messaging and make sure we have content on all of those platforms, especially Facebook and Instagram, and LinkedIn's a very close second on all of that. Because people, when they look to do business with you, they're going to look you up and they're going to try to, see if they can find you. So that's a soapbox moment for the day.
Lori, is there a better place? Like I was seeing the reviews, and I have some reviews on Google Business, and so did you. Is there a place that's best to put our reviews?
I would push everyone to Google My Business to give me a review. I would. And then when I should have more than 11, but truthfully, it's fine. I don't really work on that much. But if I most businesses, when I start working with them, if they don't have, around 25 or more, we work on that. And then, you just put that link in your email, you ask some friends and family to do that for you. I have Timber Creek Grill as one of my clients, and I think he's probably got like 300 reviews. He probably gets 3 or 4 of those a week, just organically. So, and he has a lot on Facebook as well. But, that's, when people are looking to do business with, like somebody like you, Katie, that they're going to go and search on Google, and then they're going to look how many reviews you have. And then that's going to be their biggest, one of their biggest starting points of how they're going to figure out who they're going to call and get a bid. So that's a great question, because we all are limited with time, right?
Yep.
And then I would cross post those. What I would do is I would create that, take some of your Google reviews and copy that quote and put it on go in Canva, put it on on a plain background or a color background, whatever, put it on a background, put it on your other social accounts. And what that does is that makes people think, oh, I've done business with them before. Maybe I should give them a review on whatever platform they're seeing your review. So it's not really to promote the Google My Business, it's really to promote your overall reviews. And then hopefully people will then, start to give you a review. So that's something I do for a lot of my clients. On Thursdays, I post thank you days, and we pull reviews off of Google, off of, Facebook, wherever, and put it on and I had Jeannie create a really awesome, if I had that up handy, I could show you what it was, but she created a really neat background for me, and I use that a lot. I just she made a really neat background for laser lipo and vein. And then I put it into Canva, and then I just copied the text and overlay on it. So it's a nice, nice professional look.
Is there somewhere else that you go to normally besides Canva for like backgrounds and stuff like that? Just use Canva.
I used to use like Pixabay, and that's a site that doesn't charge for images. And they have
What is that one?
background. It's called
Okay, what?
Pixabay. I'll type it in.
Yeah, Pixabay.
Okay.
So this is
Right now I'm paying $12 a month for Canva Professional, because that was where all the photos that I wanted, and that's worth my,
that's what I would do. I really, you just don't want to get into a situation where even if you're grabbing something, I mean, these are image royalty free as well. But for peace of mind, for the amount of money that Canva charges, I think and they have so many great images to use within Canva now. They just keep getting better and better with their stock. But the one thing too, though, if you're really looking to do a full campaign, like I do a lot with Jeannie, with laser lipo and vein, and some other of my clients, we do purchase off of Shutterstock or other Adobe stock. We do purchase if we're going to be using the same model in a sequence of events. But that's something that you have to really be behind a bigger strategy than just a post, right? To really make sure that that's worth your investment.
I love Canva.
And
you can go like my Zoom background. I did that in Canva in like 5 seconds.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah. And if you create that, and that's why I'm saying Canva stories is so amazing, because if you go into Canva and you create your story, I'll just open mine up real quick. You guys are probably like, oh my gosh, she's not organized. But anyway, so see, I did my presentation in Canva. But if I've got a story in here, and my son uses it for his Greek, isn't that nice? He logs in and does some Greek stuff in here. But anyway, when you log into your Canva on your phone, like here's a story sequence that I created in Canva. And this gives you an idea of the sequence of stories that I'll create to tell a story. So these are individual different, there's how many here? 3 different ones. So then on this, when I actually post it into stories on this client's account, I'll do a text overlay on the top of it. I'll say, view, I'll give more descriptions about this product and features and benefits of it, what age it's good to use, and link and then I'll link to the actual product or the website. So not only do I just do one story, a lot of times I'll have a sequence of stories to create that story, that message. So, but the point to this was when you log onto Canva Stories app on your phone, this shows up and you can push it directly to your Instagram account. And then if your Instagram is linked to your Facebook, those stories will cross post over.
Yeah. And you can do just your regular Facebook post directly from Canva as well. I've seen that.
Yep. So if you pay for the service, so see, you can link your Facebook page. You can then push directly to it. Absolutely. And I even think that there's a schedule feature now in here too, if you wanted to. The other thing that is kind of interesting with this, it allows you in Creator Studio, I believe it gives you I'm trying to remember, I don't use it, so I can't remember exactly where it's at. I apologize, but there is a way to see your calendar of scheduled posts in here. So basically what Facebook is, they're tired of people using Hootsuite, right? They're trying to create that environment.
I see it down under posts. It says 0 scheduled posts over there on the right side of the screen. Under go down where it posts. Keep going right there, right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So you could go into here, and then if I don't use this to schedule, so that's why. But the other thing about what I do love about this too, it does bring in the stories, the analytics. So I can see how many people opened these different, so this is Children's Factory client. Hold on, I'm gonna unselect, I'm just gonna pull up Children's Factory because I feel like it's okay data to kind of show people. So, I can see in here exactly what did well. And then I would look at this and I would say, oh gosh, this really was successful. So I'll probably go back to this layout and create more that look like this. But this is how I use, and oh, this did really well too. So this was a photo shoot behind the scenes. So it's not and this is a very large national company. And this was just me. I took this picture. They had a photo shoot last week and I just took a bunch of snapshots. And so these aren't professional images, they're from my phone, but that's what I put into stories just to kind of, give people an idea. Hey, we have a photo shoot that's happening and isn't that fun, right? And then, oh, a TikTok. Anyway, it's just fun that you can actually see, what people are opening, what they like, what they don't like. And then that's how you develop, because, honestly, like, look at some of these are terrible. So I probably wouldn't go back and do that strategy for a while because, some of these things really take some time to do. But it's good to have, that's why I like I like these tools that Facebook has given me because I can see this data that I was struggling to see on my phone.
Awesome. Lori, you are awesome and just so generous with your knowledge and your time. I definitely think we need to talk about doing like a class and see what that would look like for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I could do a class on how to use Creator Studio.
Yeah. And maybe we talk about a series of classes if people they'd pay for it, but kind of see what that would look like. It'd have to be, you need to make it worth your time.
Well, I like to give back. I like to help small businesses. So that's part of my passion.
Well, you're awesome.
Oh, well, I hope this is what you were hoping for today. I really do. I know I feel like, with a creative person like I squirrel a lot. So I hope that it went well.
No, I think we got some very valuable ideas. And what I would just encourage people to do, I know it can be very overwhelming, but just start and just do it. I mean, yeah.
The first thing I would do is I would go to your Instagram account. I would make sure it's business. The second thing I would do is go to your Facebook page and make sure that your Instagram is linked in your settings. And then the third thing I would do is create an Instagram story and push it over to, get it to push over to Facebook and just start creating. And truthfully, it is, once you get it set up, it is not hard to do. Like I said, I took on a new client last week and they're doing stories. Really, it wasn't hard for them to start to implement. So that's encouraging. So it can be done.
Awesome.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you for, you're just fabulous. Applause.
I appreciate it. How many of you use Business Manager? I just want to have a question.
I don't know it.
Okay. All right. Make sure you have an admin and Business Manager. I will tell you in the fall, I did not have one. And two-factor authentication turned on my Facebook account and I got locked out of my business account for 48 hours until I figured out because the two-factor authentication wasn't sending to my device on Facebook, wasn't sending it. So I finally figured out to download a tool called Google Authenticator. And then I was able to then get back into my Facebook account. So I'm telling you that just because it happens. I'm not above anything where that doesn't happen. I make mistakes and I'm human, and Facebook makes a lot of changes all the time. And that was a very scary time period for me. And that was right around the election and everybody getting, locked out of, I had client ad accounts that were getting locked down and as well. And it took like weeks to get them turned back on. And there was nothing that did anything wrong. Their automatic, their AI was keyed up so high that it was triggering things that shouldn't have been triggered, but they were trying to combat all of the issues that was happening on social media in the fall. So, and then also just don't comment on any kind of posts of political in nature, or really, because Facebook does have a way of figuring out that if you're attached to a business page, and if you get reported to Facebook for any kind of a message or a comment that you might have, it's never going to turn out well for you.
Mm-mm. And Facebook has a political leaning, and you need to understand what that is. And if you're not in that direction, you gotta.
Right. Absolutely.
No, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yep, absolutely. So, you just have to realize that, you do have, everybody has an opinion, and everybody does have the right to voice that, but not necessarily on a platform that you don't own. So that's what I think we all forget.
Yep.
I'm just giving you advice on things that, I've had happen. I've seen.
That's real.
Mhm.
That's real. I mean, you can get deplatformed.
Yes. And then all of a sudden your
Platformed.
business is gone and you can't get back on Facebook.
Yep.
So, and whether we like it or not, it is a great way to connect with people that want to do business with us.
Mhm.
So, but I love Instagram so much. There's not as much place. It's fun to go and just scroll through Instagram. As a user, I prefer that anyway over. I mean, I'm on Facebook still, and I'm a user of Facebook, but I really enjoy Instagram a lot as a user.
Awesome.
My dog is making a noise with her tail against the box. My two dogs, anyway, the one's crashed out already. I guess it's a hard day.
Oh, well, Lori, thank you so much again. This has been super awesome. Really appreciate you. You over delivered, which is fantastic. Super grateful.
Well, I hope to see everybody put a story in the next 24 hours. I'm going to be looking. The chamber, I'm going to look at your page. I'm going to look at you, Angie.
I will do something.
Katie.
And let's figure out a class.
You let me know.
I think we should do it. I think it'd be great.
And see what you guys want me to talk about. I'm happy to.
Yeah. And if everybody who is here, just shoot me a message or email of what you need to learn about, and we can figure it out.
Yep. Sounds good. Just make sure you guys look at your insights on all your accounts and see what people like and what they open, and start from there. That's the best advice I can give, I think, because that's what I do every day as well.
Yep. Awesome.
All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the sunshine.
Bye, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for being behind the scenes, Belle.
Thank you.